Hey yo, what's up guys? This is TechSav back with a new video this week. This week has been all about WWDC and iOS 12. Now, if you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know that I've installed the iOS 12 Developer Beta 1 on my iPhone 6. iOS 12 brought many welcome features to the iPhones and iPads. So without further ado, let's get started.
Swag, bitch.
First up, grouped notifications. Finally, Apple gave the feature which was demanded by users for years. Now, the notifications appear on the lock screen like this, with a stacked view, and also you can see that the font of the notification center and the cross is larger. You can tap the stack to see all the notifications of the same app and then tap the show less button on the top or bottom to collapse it again. Also, you can clear all the notifications of the specified app just by tapping the clear button of the stack. And if you want to delete a single notification, you can just tap the stack and clear the particular notification that you want to delete. Now, there is a new manage button when you slide your notifications to the left. This basically lets you decide the way you receive the notifications. You can choose deliver quietly. Then the notifications will just appear on the cover sheet and the badge app icon without any sounds or banners. Or you can completely turn off the notifications directly from your lock screen itself. Or you can go to the settings page and change your notification settings. Now, if we go to the settings menu and then notifications, let me just choose App Store here. And here you can see that there is a new section called notification grouping, where you can select the grouping of the notifications by app, automatic, or you can turn off the notification. And there's a new interface for the alert section. This was a much needed feature and Apple didn't disappoint. Now the notifications won't disturb your iOS experience. Now, speaking of disturbance, the Do Not Disturb also got some major improvements. Now you can long press or 3D touch on the Do Not Disturb icon in the control center to get options. Now there are 4 options. You can set your DND for 1 hour, or until tomorrow morning or evening, or until you leave a certain location, or until the end of an event in your calendar. Now, if you go to the settings of Do Not Disturb, you can find a new scheduled section in the menu. In this section, if you have a bedtime set for your device, it will automatically schedule the Do Not Disturb according to your bedtime. Or you can set the time for your Do Not Disturb manually from this menu only. Now, during bedtime, when Do Not Disturb is on, you will get this screen and no notifications. And when you turn it off, the device will greet you with a good morning screen and the weather update for the day. So this was Do Not Disturb in iOS 12. With more and more apps being developed to ease our life and making it simpler, it is also leading people to get more and more addicted to their phones. So to prevent this phone-diction, Apple introduced screen time in iOS 12. This is a tool which is integrated in the settings menu, and it basically gives you an overview of how much you are using your device. Now inside this menu, you get a lot of sections to look at. First, you get the screen time for the device you're using. And if you tap it, you're inside this page which gives you a huge amount of data about how you've been using the device. Now in this page, you can see for how long your device's screen was on, your longest session with the device, your most used apps, how many times you picked up the device, which apps sends you how many notifications, and much more. Based on these data, you can act and reduce the time you use on your device by setting app limits. In app limits, you can basically set a specified time that you want to spend in an app or group of apps. Like I added social medias in app limits. Now as I am scrolling through my Instagram account, I get this notification saying that I have reached my limit for the day. And when you go back to the home screen, you will find all the apps with app limits with a faded look and a screen time icon beside the app name. If you try to get into the app, you will get this page. You can ignore the limit and start using the app, of course, but this will give you a sense of living in the real world instead of the world of apps and games. So this is an amazing tool for optimizing the time you spend on your device. Now Siri got some updates too. Like now she can turn on your flashlight. Just ask her to do that and she'll happily do it in iOS 12. Whereas in iOS 11.4, she behaves like Siri again. But the good news is Siri got an app for herself this year. The Shortcuts app is not available right now as it is just developer beta 1, but there are some shortcuts that you can find in the settings page for Siri. So now you can set a custom phrase for making Siri do a series of actions in an app or a bunch of apps. So here are some inbuilt shortcut operations that you can use. There are a lot of options to choose from. You can set a shortcut for photos, mail, voice recorder and many more apps. So I created a custom phrase for Siri to open my Gmail account in the Mail app. Whenever I say mail time, she opens my Gmail account in the Mail app. But there are only few options for the shortcuts now. But when we get the app, we can create our own shortcuts like a workflow. Apart from this, she got 2 new voice accents, Irish and South African. Alright, so that's for Siri in iOS 12. Okay, the Photos app got some minor changes too. It has a new interface for all your albums, and if you scroll down, you can see a lot of categories for all your photos. Up top you can find all your albums, and if you scroll down a bit, here you can see people and places and all these categories according to media types. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you can find the recently deleted album right there. There is a new tab in the app called For You tab, and this contains all the memories movies which the device makes for you. Also, now you get the search tab right at the bottom with all the other tabs, and it is much more powerful than before. So now you can search by any places, events or objects in your photos and it will give you an appropriate result. So that is all for the Photos app. Now some of the stock applications got some major redesigns and changes. This includes the new Stocks app, which got a major overhaul. It has got this nice dark theme going on and now has integrated Apple News in the app. Now as you can see, you have all the stock information for the companies right here, and if you slide up from the bottom, you can find the market news curated by the Apple News editor right there in the Stocks app. And I really like the dark theme in this Stocks app. I really hope that Apple introduces the dark mode in iOS 13. Now other than the Stocks app, the Voice Memo app got a total redesign and now looks quite minimalistic and simple. You also get a new section for the Voice Memo app in the settings menu. Here you can choose the audio compression quality or decide after how many days the voice memos will be auto-deleted permanently, or you can choose the default recording name for the memos. Lastly, the iBooks app has a new name now, Apple Books. This also got major redesigns and was made from the scratch, and now it looks quite modern and minimalistic. It looks like the Music app or the Photos app in the iOS platform and has 4 tabs at the bottom. You have the Reading Now tab, the Library tab, Bookstore and the Search tab. So these were the app redesigns. Let me know down in the comments which app did you like the most in this iOS 12. Lastly, coming to performance. Although it's just the developer beta 1, not even the public beta, it feels quite fast and stabilized. The app opening and closing is much more snappy than iOS 11. Basically, what I noticed is that Apple made the animations a bit quicker in this update, and that makes it faster. And the camera opening from the lock screen is definitely 70% faster as said in the WWDC keynote. Now, I ran Geekbench tests when I was in iOS 11.4, 11.4.1 public beta 1 and in iOS 12. So in iOS 11.4, I got a single core score of 1499 and a multi-core score of 2687. On 11.4.1 public beta 1, I got a score of 1555 single core and a 2703 multi-core score. And on iOS 12, I got the single core score of 1573 and a multi-core score of 2730. This is the highest out of the 3 iOS versions. But still, it is the developer beta 1 and I found some problems here and there, and sometimes it glitches a lot. Now apart from these major updates, there are many more features under the hood which Apple didn't talk about. Like now when you're in reachability, you get an arrow on the top of the screen, whereas in 11.4 you don't have the arrow on the top. Also, notice there is a delay in app opening in iOS 11, whereas in iOS 12 now, when in reachability mode, the app opens directly without any delay. The keyboard got a new design now. Nothing drastic though, but previously the predictive text area was separated from the actual keyboard. Now the separating line is gone. So in iOS 12 you can see here, let me just go to the keyboard, and as you can see that the separation, there is no separation between the keyboard and the predictive text area. Speaking of the keyboard, now this is exciting. Now you can long press on the spacebar to activate the trackpad for the cursor in non-3D touch devices too. I love it how Apple gives the new features of the new models to the previous devices somehow or the other. So there is a small change in the iMessage section. Previously when you tapped on the camera, you get the live camera along with your pictures beside that. But now when you press the camera button, the camera takes the whole screen and there is no pictures beside that. Instead you get this photos icon in the app drawer, which you can, okay, it's not opening, it's glitching right now. So basically all your photos appear here, and this is why do not install any beta software on your daily driver. If you have a spare phone, do it on that. Now lastly, in the control center settings, you get two new tiles for scanning QR codes and for hearing. When you tap the scan QR code tile, it will take you directly to the camera and start scanning instantly. Now another small feature is in the notes tile. When you long press the icon, you will get the scan document option right here, whereas in iOS 11, when you 3D touch the notes app, here you get the new sketch option. So this was iOS 12 on iPhone 6. There are many more small changes here and there guys, but these were the major ones. Hope you guys liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Check out my other videos on the channel and also hit the subscribe button guys. It's free. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.